The air quality alert has been extended.
Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California. I'm here to tell you I'm going to take a break. I don't like admitting when I get sick, but I'm fine and I'm going to take a break. That's what I'm coming here to tell you. Now, why would I make a video and be in front of the camera, which is something I don't like doing as much as being behind, and then tell you I'm leaving? Well, here's the thing. I was doing the garden tour the other day and I knew it was a struggle. I was actually trying to count in my head while I was doing it. Is the pain 7? I was thinking to myself, this is crazy. Or is it 10? I figured, well, it can't be 10 because if it was 10, I think I'd have Gary take me over to urgent care. So I figured it was 7. In other words, I've got a bad knee. I hurt it when I was a kid. And so when anything, acts up, the knee is the first thing that really gets hit, the leg, the knee part, the right knee. So I continued and finished the garden tour. Everything was fine. And then that night, boom, sore throat. It was so bad, light cough, and I was cold, but I don't think I was running a temperature. I never took my temperature. So long story short, according to AI, because of the symptoms I've got, it's telling me I have, isn't that funny? I still don't want to say it since I had some videos taken down once when I said it a couple years ago. It says I've got. Now the reason is I put in to the AI, I put into Google that I've got a sore throat, really not much of a headache, kind of twinge here and there, a light cough. And right now, when I went to eat or drink coffee, oh my gosh, I felt like somebody just poured in liquid metal. Everything was metal tasting. It was horrible. I haven't had that before. I didn't even have it when I had that. So I wasn't sure what it was. But anyways, so at night it was really, really bad. I actually told Gary he's got one of those emergency pumps if you need it. I said, put it out. As my throat was so sore and so tight that in case I need it for an emergency, I want to know where exactly it is. Never needed it. And thank goodness we don't need it, but the doctor gave us once that. And I waited all night. I sipped on a lot of tea, and that's what I have been making. Tea from the garden. Anything from the garden I know is not sprayed. Hold on. I know what's in it, in other words. This particular one is lemon verbena and orange tea, orange mint. So that's the tea. That's all that's in there right now. But I know coming from the garden, there's nothing bad in it. So I went ahead and started drinking that pretty much all night. And I should have noticed that the day I did the garden tour, I had a craving, which was really weird, for toast. Gary said he needed some stuff. I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to order a nice bread. There's a nice gluten-free bread, country something, and it's really, I like it. And I ordered the white bread, not the wheat or anything fancy because it's got more in it. It was just a weird craving I had. So I went ahead, ordered that, and that should have been another signal that maybe something is going on. But it wasn't until the evening. So anyways, long story short, I am fine. The thing is, when I take off a few days, let's say I don't put any videos up for 3 days, then I start getting all kinds of messages from you guys, which I love it. It's fine. Are you okay? Are you okay? Is Gary okay? Is anything wrong? Because you're so used to me putting up, in the summer, I was putting up like a video a day, even if it was a short. So the thing is, I'm thinking this would be a good opportunity. Maybe somebody up there is telling me, take a break. Because I did hurt my knee and my back. A lot of you know that 3 months ago, and it does aggravate me sometimes. It gets aggravated. And I noticed sitting down now, it's actually been better. So maybe I needed to get off of it a little bit. Am I still working in the garden? Of course I'm working in the garden. But I thought I'd come on here to talk about some of the things I do. Not that you're going to do the same thing when you get sick, but it might give you ideas. Because this does work for me. I rarely get a cold. I will sometimes get, I got a sinus infection maybe 3 months ago. I got a sinus infection. I went to the doctor as I was concerned. Plus it was Friday and I thought maybe I better go because things always happen over the weekend. She checked me out, checked me for strep throat, said, no, you don't have strep or anything. It is a sinus infection. Told me to get on the allergy medication, Zocor or one of those, and see how that works. And she gave me a prescription for antibiotics that would work for strep or something like that. So I made the prescription. I never had to use it, knocked that thing out right away. And I think a lot of the sinus things is the air. I used to think years ago it was the heater, because I tend to get that in the winter. And I used to think, winter, I get that. It must be the heater, dust from the heater or something. Well, one year we didn't use the heater at all, and I still got it. And I realized it's not. It's the air. So it is. I mean, we've had, that all the fires and stuff. You can see, I get up in the middle of the night, and I look out the window, and you can see the soot in the air going across like a black line. Almost every night you can see that. So we're breathing all that in, and there's just a lot of stuff going on. So I think it is that. So that periodically just too much gets to me. Now, the thing I do for a cold, which this isn't a cold, I don't have a runny nose. This is, according to AI, a mild case of. I'll tell you what I do. And this has helped me a lot. I wear a mask. Now, some of you hate masks. I don't know why. I'll tell you, there's a couple reasons I will wear a mask. And probably still have lines because I have been wearing a mask. I wonder if you can hear me through the mask. The first thing I did when I got the sore throat was tell Gary I need a mask. So I went ahead and put on a mask right away. I'm telling you, it soothes your throat. If you have a sinus thing going on, for me, it really soothed my throat, and it helped everything going on, breathing. The other thing I use this for, when I have a cold, I haven't had a cold in years, is you rarely see me locked down. In other words, sitting down and not doing anything. I'll stuff this with Kleenex. If you have one of those runny noses, you know what that is. Just pack it in there. I'll put the mask on, seal it on tight, and go back to work. So I don't have to think about anything. It's crazy, but it works. So I have been using the mask. Is it there? Am I using it so Gary won't get sick? No. The only thing I told him is, stay a little bit back. I'm still cooking dinner. I make sure my hands are washed good. I'm doing everything normal. But I told him, don't kiss me. You sure it's okay? I said, no. Let's not push it. So far, so good with him. When he came down with a few years ago, I followed and caught it from him 2 days later, just from being in the house. He was not locked down. A lot of people were locking people in rooms and all that. No, I didn't. And of course I came down with that. I probably would have anyways. So I just told him, let's just take it easy on that. But here's what I wanted to talk about really. I am drinking tea, like I said, and you have to drink a lot no matter what you get, which is very important because you want to flush everything out. The other thing is I went through, like this morning, and I go through my soups. We have a lot of canned goods here for an emergency. You would think, well, you got all the vegetables and everything you grow around here. What if something happened? What if we had a bad heat wave or something? It got really cold and everything, fried out. It wasn't good enough to use. I'm just using that as an extreme. You want to have something on hand, and I think everybody should have something on hand. Even if you're in an apartment, you should have enough food that you could carry on for at least 3 days. We have far more, to be honest. So I started going through my cans, and I looked at the blue labeled one, and though it was and we are gluten-free, by the way, so I'm particular on what I eat. I don't eat wheat. I looked through it, and it's got I knew this. It's got a lot of potassium chloride and all these chemicals in there. The last thing I want to put in my body right now is something that it's going to go berserk from. Or, trying to heal, I want to make sure it's good. So I went through a couple other chicken broths, and I found some really basic. Chicken broth, onion, celery extract juice, and all that. And that's what I'm looking for. Real basic stuff. From there, I went into the garden, and I did pick a lot of different greens that I wanted in the soup. I put Swiss chard in there. I picked celery, but I went for the leaves this time. Just felt like just the leaves on the celery. I chopped up some garlic chives along with walking onions. I know I picked a few. I put some, I'm not big on basil in my soup, but I put a couple basil leaves in there and some sage. I'm trying to think what else. Pretty much that was it. It just so happens I had some mushrooms in the fridge when I went to the grocery store the other day, where I got this. And I chopped that up and put it in there too. Hold on, because my throat is really dry. I'm being splashed by tea. And I put it in the saucepan that I was going to make my soup in. And I put a little bit of olive oil in there and I sauteed it very lightly. I wasn't trying to brown it or anything, but I went ahead and sauteed it so it kind of broke it down. And once it was broke down, then I put in half of the carton. I went with a carton this time of Swanson's no salt, unsalted chicken broth. I poured it in half, brought it to a boil, and then I scrambled 2 eggs from our chickens that are running around. And I slowly, with a fork, drizzled it in. So it's kind of like noodles. It's what you do, I do that with a lot of different dishes I make. And that cooked up really nice. And Gary told me he wanted some too. So once, of course, that was all cooked up, I went ahead and put the rest of the carton in there. And I also buy Asian noodles that are super thin, because most of the noodles you buy are made from wheat flour. Even the egg ones are made with a lot of wheat. So I buy the Asian noodles because they're made from rice flour. And they're really good. I get the thinnest I can get. I cook those up, drain that, rinse them with cool water. And now I had a bowl of noodles and boiling soup. And that's what we just had a little bit ago. And that's what I have been having. I know that we're not perfect. I mean, a can of soup with all those chemicals in there, you know what the chemicals are in there for? Let's say the blue label. They're in there to preserve, if they put chicken in there, rice, celery, potatoes, whatever they put in there. The preservatives are in those soups, so your vegetables won't break down. Which means if you drink it, whatever you're eating, the same chemicals are in your gut, not breaking down, because that's what they're in there. So that's the last thing I want now. Do I use it? Yeah, once in a while. That's why I keep it here. Especially if it was on sale, I keep some cans here. And with the canned soup, I usually make something with that. I might make a casserole. I might just feel like a bowl of soup. As long as I'm not sick, it's not bothering me. I'll add in other vegetables. Is it getting rid of the enzymes? And I shouldn't say enzymes, but all those chemicals in there? No, but hopefully I'm thinning it out a little bit. It's not something I use that often. I think when it comes to certain cans of soup, well, in the summer and even most of the fall, we don't use it at all. In the winter, sometimes you come in and you want something hot and it's here and we'll grab it. So is it perfect? No, far from it. The ideal perfect thing I wouldn't do would be, boy, that would be the ideal, would be to go out there, catch a chicken. And I've heard the stories. People tell me how they do it and do the whole thing and cook it fresh. That would be ideal. I didn't grow up that way. I'm a city girl, born and raised in Los Angeles when I was a kid, and everything's from the grocery store. Though I will tell you, that many years ago, the chicken you bought then was far better than the chickens you're buying now from the grocery stores. So, and then you got to keep in mind, Gary he was raised on a farm, so he knows all about that. If they didn't go do that, they weren't eating. He is off a farm in Australia. So anyways, like I said, the main reason is just letting you know, if you don't see me for a few days, even if I felt great, which I do feel pretty good, I don't think you want to hear a mouse talking to you. Because like this morning when I started talking, I sounded more like a mouse. I thought, it's bad enough that I'm talking away, and the last thing you want to hear is a squeaky voice. And I don't know what's going to be. Generally, if I get sick with something, whether it's a cold or whatever, I tend to get laryngitis afterwards. And I could be starting that. So I don't want to come on with laryngitis, letting you know that, hey, I'm sick, but I feel great, or I have laryngitis. Then you'll go, oh my gosh, look at her. She's so bad off. She should be in the hospital. Go to the doctor. I rarely go to the doctor. I go when I have a question, like when I had the sinus infection, I thought, maybe I better go check it out. I've had it for a week, and it turned out it was that. For this, it hasn't been long enough. When you look online, it tells you give it 5 days, and if it doesn't start to get better or whatever, or if you have severe temperature, I do not, and all these other symptoms, then you go in. I don't have a shortness of breath. I don't think this, if it is this, still not sure, it got into my lungs a little bit one morning. I could feel it, and I thought, uh-oh. But no, it was cleared right out. I think I have a pretty good immune system for a lot of stuff. And my body will take care of it myself. Like I said, I'm still working in the garden. I was in the dog kennel doing some things. I'm actually potting up some plants. Very excited to get some stuff done. I want to get a lot of plants propagated. This is Angel's Perfume. So I'm really working with that and been kind of doing different projects with different things I dug up that I've had for years, these old cups from Vegas. So I kind of was working on that, but I'm afraid that I think I just finished that video before my voice went. And I'm thinking I may have drop-ins or something if I'm not happy with it. I haven't even looked at it. So in case you hear a part in there she sounds squeaky, is that really her? It's her. And what else did I want to talk about? That was basically it. I love the questions that were coming in on the garden tour. Really good questions. And I should do videos and show you what they do. I don't have it in front of me, so I can't say your names, but somebody said, how do you get earthworms in containers? That's a video in itself. I can show you the steps how you can get earthworms in there. But I answered her as far as traveling. Earthworms move in the dead of the night when it's damp, especially on rainy days. When it's damp and dark, that's when they can get out of the soil and move around. So they'll find their way. And the other way is you might take handfuls of soil, throw it in there, and all of a sudden you got a bunch of earthworms because you didn't know that you had eggs in your soil. So there's a lot of different things. There was great questions and great comments in there. So that's basically, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm going to give you a tip on this. This is frog tape. This is the best thing. I just taped this little sign together. This is something I saw it on sale the other day. When you tape this in the garden, I've talked about this. You can tape up tomato plants, pepper plants. You could use this straight on the plant. Once it touches something, I don't want to ruin that, but once it, I don't think I'm going to ruin that. If you put it on when it's dry, it will stay there until you take it off. Even if it gets rained on and it gets wet. And if you feel you want to get it off, but you don't know how long you want to leave it, make a little tab so you can grab it so it's easy to take off. But this is really, I'm making a hummingbird feeder. This is really my go-to in the garden. For years I used regular masking tape, which you can get, but that kind of gets dry and brittle and you can't get it off sometimes. It really adheres to stuff. This you can peel off. But I've had this in the garden, some of it, for over 2 years, and it's still there, waiting for me to take it off. So that's a really big plus. I know a lot of you aren't gardening right now, but it's something to think about. There's a lot of things to think about. So I think that's it for right now. I thought I had more to say, but I can't think of it. Mint is a good thing you can grow. You should grow mint, and then what you should do, I'm telling you this, I haven't done it. I really need to go out there, collect a bunch of mint leaves, and maybe some lemon verbena, because as we get into winter, we're not there yet. A lot of those plants die back, and if I freeze them in baggies, I could just grab them and throw them in boiling water, and then I've got my mint, or my tea. Isn't that beautiful? There's something more beautiful than something that you've grown, and you don't even need a garden for that. A beautiful flower pot. Mint like sun, lemon verbena like sun. A lemon verbena will grow really small. I have that in the garden for the spice finches to hang out on. But if you keep it in a pot, like I said, it will stay small. But you put it in a big pot, it'll grow into a tree. But of course you can trim it. So that's about it. So I'm taking a break. Only because I don't want you to hear my squeaky little voice in case that happens. And if it doesn't, you'll see me later. I'm still working around here. And it's been a little, you can hear the windows knocking. It got breezy today. It's kind of like 1 minute it's sunny, next minute it's cloudy. At night, it's like thick fog. You can't see anything right now. That black streak in the sky, I haven't seen that in days because it's been so foggy. So I want to thank you for the questions. Keep the questions going. I'm fine. I don't have a fever. I don't have shortness of breath. I don't have any of that. But I do have this thing, like I made cookies and they were so good. And then all of a sudden when this hit, I went to, anything but sugar, it tastes like you're eating metal, chewing on a nickel. Okay, how does she know what a nickel tastes like? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe as a kid you handle nickels, they put your hands in your mouth. But it does. It's that metallic taste, which is on its way out anyways. I noticed it's been a little better. I haven't craved anything sweet. So right now I've been making my own chicken soup. I like eating the noodles. I think I'll make a rice dish tonight. I fried up some of my ground meat the other day with some squash I picked from the garden, and that worked out really good. I'm craving more salt and toast and nothing sweet at all. So I don't know. You know, like I said, a few years ago, Gary and I both had. We made it through fine. Don't want that sitting out. And if it is that, you know, then that could be why it's so mild. And maybe Gary won't even find any signs. The other day he said, was it yesterday? He said he felt a little tired, but then he felt fine. That could have been it, if he even has it in his system at all. So everybody have a wonderful week. If you don't see me, I'll try to come in and answer questions. If you message me, how are you doing? If I see it, I'll answer you right away. I'll tell you how I'm doing. I have nothing to hide. And that's basically it. Oh, they're voting this week, aren't they? We voted. I don't want to get into that. My opinion, and we'll keep this non-political, but yeah, I forgot we are voting this week. Dodgers won. Boy, we heard that the other night with the Dodgers when they won. The fireworks going off all over in the city. You could hear that. So that's basically it. So everybody have a wonderful week. I am going to do something, either go into the garden or check out that other video I'm working on right now because I'm really fascinated with that. And I think it's going to be fun. And then I'll make I don't have any other videos, so I'll make it when I feel better, and hopefully all will be well fairly quick. But a nice little break is good, as long as I can keep working. So have a great day. Everyth's fine. I don't even know where Zoe is. Zoe? Zoe? What are you doing down there? You've got a different table. Ay, ay, ay. There, look, say hello to everybody. This thing with her tongue. You know, when I bought her, I saw a picture in the paper. She had the tongue out. She might think right now, did I do something wrong? Did you do something wrong and I don't know about it? What's with the tongue? Anyways, that's it. I wanted her to say hello. What is here? There's tape? No, but that's not a toy. You got toys. I got your new toys. So again, everybody have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. And Gary's around here. He's doing his own thing. And I'm going to go check the garden pretty soon, do some watering. And maybe I'll get some more chicken soup. And be sure to read the labels, because these days it's hard to believe what's in there. I've talked too much. I can feel it in my throat. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. And that's what I've been doing. And I need to rest my throat. And no joke, the mask helps. Bye-bye. Alexa, could you repeat the alert?
From Amazon. U.S. National Weather Service has issued an air quality alert. It'll be in effect until November 3rd.
Alexa, do you have a notification?
One new notification. From Amazon. The air quality alert has been extended until November 4th, 12 a.m. PST.
Maybe that's why my throat keeps going in and out. I thought it was fog. Oh well.